Hello world! Welcome to our channel Hex1E on this awesome day, and let's take a look at what we've got for you this time. In our Hex1E Jiffy series, we do single session, single cam videos in an attempt to bring you more content more regularly, more faster. Don't worry, we'll still do the other vids. This is just a new take on them. Okay, you might remember our workstation build, the air-cooled one. And back then I already hinted that I wanted to water cool the beast. Well, the time has come. Fittings, screws, cool stuff, and our pretty gutted machine. I already used the GPU for our Christmas build, and just because I knew that I was getting this, an RTX 3070 Vision series, which matches the motherboard. But that's not all. It is a workstation, and a workstation likes cores. Well, we've got you covered. The Ryzen 9 5950X, 16 core, fastest AMD regular desktop processor. I think it will do a good job. For the water cooling, what have we got? We have got, not EK, this time Corsair Hydro. We have a white XC7 RGB block for the CPU, and a black one. Then we've got one radiator and another one. And finally, pump press combo. Let's do something with it. Before I begin, I would like to tell you that the original plan was to use this contraption to mount the second water block to the GPU, but as you might have heard from the net, the 3070 has kind of a weird layout of the mounting mechanism for the cooler, so this doesn't fit. Okay, I'll surely find some use for it, and we won't be using the black one then. And let me see. We'll definitely be using this one too. And since we're only using the GPU, the cooling the CPU, I don't think we're really gonna use two rats. And I already took this out of the box. And it's a pretty nice unit. It looks like this with a shiny silver Corsair logo. Who would have guessed it? Yeah, let's start the speed build then while I go over the notes. Beforehand, the conversion was pretty simple and there were no real surprises. Now, let's get into the details. Removing the cooler was kind of a chore, but that's the case with most coolers, and Nokia Secure Firm system is one of the simpler ones. I would have preferred for Noctua to include a real screwdriver like Be Quiet does, especially considering the price of the NHD 15. At least, since Noctua uses a standard AMD mounting plate, I didn't have to remove the whole board from the case to unmount the thing. Corsair Hydro X components were easy to fit, but if you wanted to use the same NZXT 700 or 710 case, you'll need slim 15mm fans to get a second rad in front. Else, the second rad, together with a pump press combo, just won't fit. Also, the slimmer fans will require shorter screws. And Corsair didn't go with the industry standard UNC 6/32, but went with M4 mounting screw holes instead. Not that it's actually wrong, it's just something you need to consider when using their components. As for the case itself, and others have mentioned this type of issue before, having a solid metal panel and just a thin strip of breathing holes on the side isn't really ideal for airflow. This issue is even worse for the top exhaust, since the mount is recessed into the already constricted space above the board. And of course, heat will get trapped here, reducing the efficacy of a top-mounted radiator liquid cooling solution. And apart from modifying the case by, drilling holes in it, I was unable to find a solution for this issue. Now, while the Corsair components exhibited no obvious issues, nothing prone to leak here, the components do feel flimsy, and the CPU block is actually pretty light compared to the rather heavy acetal and acrylic materials used in competing products. The top of the pump brace can't be removed either, complicating the filling procedure somewhat. But anyway, no real issues here, and the looks are okay, I guess, but these components feel cheap, something that shouldn't be happening at this price point. In the end though, that is something you'll only notice during assembly and can forget about afterwards. Else, there are no major praises or complaints. Nothing really more to say here. Let's now fill the loop up and talk a little bit about the cooling performance and an issue I found with the Ryzen 5000 series when enabling automatic overclocking features in Ryzen Master and stuff like PBO. First, about the cooling performance. It isn't very good. Even with a large 360 radiator for just the CPU, the cooling was pretty underwhelming. After filming this video though, I exchanged the radiator against something I had lying around, and the cooling performance improved by a lot. Finally, there is an issue that I had alluded to before, that the Ryzen 5000 CPUs exhibit a strange behavior when labeling Auto OC in Ryzen Master and PBO in the BIOS. Basically, the CPUs keep boosting and boosting to ever-increasing clocks until they hit a thermal barrier. I don't really know why that is, but it's drastically different to the Ryzen 3000s, where it kept boosting until reaching some specific clock speed and stayed there. Ryzen 5000 just keeps raising the clocks. So, this was it in a jiffy. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Thumbs up. If you don't want to miss any of our future content, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. My name is Ralph, and this is Hex 1E in a jiffy.